Got the guys back. A little cocktail hour, round table, catch up.
We are seeing not much of a slowdown in the acquisition, but a lot more title work. I know we got some geothermal projects coming up, some more lithium projects. Just optimism from both sides that's leading this surge in work and the need for Landman.
We're starting to see some pretty major spreads in the top end day rates that companies are willing to spend for good quality landmen. There's a big demand there for in-house support in the industry right now.
We've got people here in this Oklahoma City office, that's what all they do. They're looking for landmen, they're vetting landmen to identify what they're good at, what jobs they could be potentially put on and to succeed. There's not as many landmen out there as there used to be.
If there are any 2-year landmen out there right now,
Dudley Land would love to have you.
Land insights, market trends, industry experts. Welcome to the Land Department Podcast, the state of land and energy as we see it.
Brent, it's always great to get Steve back on a podcast. I know he loves these.
I mean, look at that smile. I'm so happy to be here.
Loving it.
I had to negotiate with Steve. I said, Steve, I need you twice a year, Daddy. I need that smile, baby. So he's marking it down on his calendar, and he'll deny any request until Christmas.
I got my BD points.
Yeah. Check on a BD major. Inside Dudley joke. No, man, we got the guys back. A little cocktail hour, round table, catch up, talk about industry happenings, kind of what's going on in Dudley and what we're seeing in the business in general. Always enjoy having us all together. It kind of reminds me of the early days when we started this thing.
Mm-hmm. Just to let everyone know, our cocktails now are Coca-Cola's iced tea and water. So,
and for me, it's brown fed. For me, it's a cocktail of pharmaceuticals to get this bronchitis out of my lungs.
And just like 5 minutes before this, a weenie cocktail. So
it was a weenie cocktail. It was great, by the way. I loved it.
Might
have another when we're done.
Is that shrimp cocktail sauce or ketchup?
Yeah.
I thought he was making a Bloody Mary.
We're all 40 now.
Bloody Mary with instead of the bacon that they put in it, you just put a wiener.
And it wasn't even a good wiener. It was just like a low quality, off-brand wiener.
Bar S hot dog.
Nice choice.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was laughing. I was like, golly, I mean, I think I make a little, like enough money to get something better than these weenies in the office.
Yeah.
I'm smashing weenies and Fritos for lunch.
That's great.
Yeah, we did have about 15 minutes of inappropriate content before we went.
Yeah. But that's what happens when you get busy. We'll talk more about getting busy. We have some company announcements, right? So promotions. Who's been promoted recently since the last cocktail hour?
God, that's so great. The last 6 months. There's been a lot.
Yeah. We had Wade Powell in Pittsburgh getting promoted to project manager.
Yeah. Happy for Wade.
Yep.
Yeah. I gave him a call, said, Wade, you thought you were busy before, but wait, just wait.
Just wait.
You might regret saying, yeah, bud. No, we're happy for Wade. He's earned it for sure.
Yeah.
He's earned it for sure. We got another promotion here in Houston. Two, actually. He does it well. I guess we haven't announced it fully to the company, but this will air after. Blake Thomas is getting promoted to associate prospect manager. Blake's been working in all our renewables teams, but he's got a great background in oil and gas, jumped right into renewables, working with Natalie and her team. And he's just a stomper, man. Today's having twins, hopefully, knock on wood.
Wow. 2 more Dudley babies.
Number 6 and 7 of Dudley babies this year, huh?
Oh, man. Blue Cross Blue Shield is going to love us. We were joking earlier.
30% increase.
Yeah.
Yes. What you gonna do about it? Nothing, Mr. Blue Cross. Yeah, we can't recruit any new landmen to the business, so we're just gonna breed them. We're just gonna breed some up, baby. We're like a stable. Like a stable for
That's great. Are you getting workers' comp policies for him too?
I'm gonna start paying now. Maybe I can lock them in.
We're
Locking those rates.
We plan 18 years ahead.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Somebody's gonna get some new landmen out of this deal. So yeah, and then Bryce Winters got promoted to land director of our Western U.S. operations. And Bryce, a 20-year career with Dudley. I think we announced it to the office here on his 20th anniversary, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So he's a staple here at Dudley. He's held about every position in the company and almost every office, it seems, over the years. So he's kind of a natural leader, a natural developer of talent. He does a great job at that. So he's going to thrive in this position. Be a big help for me personally here in the Houston office. But he's going to oversee and work with all our project managers and our kind of Rockies region, our mid-continent region, and then everything we do here in the southern U.S. Kind of west of the Mississippi is going to be his playground for the most part. So excited about that. He's about a month in now. He started May 1st, and he's like, hell, I'm still running projects. I was like, I know, man. we're going to get you there. But a lot going on, and we're excited about that. What other hires? We got our in-house services team stood up here in Houston as well. Mike Gibson is back, and we brought in Kelly Quarring. So super excited about those two additions to the team. I'm sure we can talk a little bit more about that a little later, but yeah, pumped about that. I mean, Mike's been in the land business for a long time on the service side. Came to us originally when we had ARI, our back office company, and became a big part of the company there. Took a little 2-year stint with Petro Ledger when we sold ARI, and then he came back. So he's working largely on the business development side of the in-house services team. And then Kelly Quarring comes to us after a 16-year career in-house with Apache. Was an in-house landman there, worked in their contracts group, worked in their land admin group, was part of major conversions on their kind of systems integrations side of things. And so a wealth of knowledge and experience that's directly applicable to what we're doing on the in-house services side. So yeah, those guys have been great to the team here. They jumped right in. It's like they were just part of the team day one. So that's been cool. Who else do we got? We got anybody up in your part of the world? Brandon?
No, pretty status. I mean, I know we talked about Harrison last time.
Yep.
Sure we talked about Harrison last time. But he's the CrossFit manager here in Oklahoma City. Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's all of them.
Yeah.
We did do a bunch of hiring. We hired Greg Calhoun on the renewable side.
On the renewable side.
Yep. Working with Natalie, and that was a big shot on the arm for Natalie and her team. Greg comes with a wealth of experience from the field side of things. I mean, he's run projects all over the country and just, man, jumped right in, hand up, not hand out, like we always say. He's just the epitome of that. Doing great. I mean, the experience that he brings is just next level. So I know Natalie and her team have been very happy to have Greg. Hell, we're happy to have him. Again, culturally, great fit. I mean, he's just everything that you want from a leader in your company. He's got it. So he's been working with the guys on the renewable side and carrying a lot of that title burden, and really made some meaningful contributions to really standardizing that process, standardizing the product. That review product, that summary product that we put together, that's really very important on the renewable side of the business. It's a little bit different product. A lot of different factors kind of go into, the information that you need to see on a standard ownership report on the renewable side of the business. So incorporating some of that, standardizing that's been a big part of Greg's job. And he's just rock solid, done great.
Yeah.
I'll say on the Dudley staffing side, we've got Lindsay Lynch that's come in and become a full desk recruiter. Mackenzie on the deadly staffing side had a baby. She's on maternity leave. So Lindsay's done a great job stepping in and filling in that role and, keeping that company moving forward. So big shout out to her. She's done great.
Excellent. And Steve, you've been traveling for conferences. How are those?
Good. We were out in Phoenix last week, Natalie and I, for the American Clean Power conference. Had some really good meetings, met some new folks. It was hard coming back to 42-degree weather for our MLBC golf outing on last Friday from the 85-degree beautiful dry heat in Arizona. But welcome to Pennsylvania.
Well, first question is, why are you playing a golf tournament in Pennsylvania in May?
Because usually it's nice by now, but if you would check in on your boy from PA, it's rained for 72 straight days. We're not doing well up here, all right? We need some check-ins every once in a while.
This is the time of the year when Steve goes a little bipolar, and it's really.
I'm still golfing in like pants. Like that shouldn't happen. It shouldn't. No. Before you know it, I'll be eating weenies and eating Fritos in a hole somewhere.
No chili.
No chili, dude. Straight meat. I had a whole conversation. I was like, man, how is a hot dog so disgusting on its own? Yet when you put it on, a bun with some sauce and some cheese and chili, it's like the greatest meal you've ever had.
Greatest thing ever.
I don't get it.
No, it's supposed to be like 70
super food
by Monday, which is nice. Maybe by the time you guys get here for our quarterlies, we can actually golf in shorts.
I'm counting on it.
That's great. Speaking of golf, Brandon, you had the golf tournament that you guys hosted?
Yeah, the OCAPL golf tournament. We had that, 10 days ago, I guess. It was on the 19th. Everybody came up. Monday. Dudley, the Houston group, came up and cooked us some catfish, which I'm still hearing about how good it was. I had a guy ask me yesterday, where did y'all get your catfish? Walmart.
But the better question should be, where did you get your Cajun?
Exactly. That's what I told him. I said, we got a couple Cajuns on staff, so be able to fry out some catfish.
I think we fried 40 pounds of catfish. I fried.
Oh my gosh.
It was a lot.
But
it was good. Yeah.
It was a good day, good weather. We thought the weather was going to be a lot worse.
We dodged the bullet, man.
It was bad, and then it didn't get bad till that night. So that was good. Got everybody out of there on time. Got them back home before all that happened. But we had a great day. We had a helicopter come out, drop 400 golf balls out of it, and gave away some money. We ended up giving $33,200 to a local charity here in town.
Wow, that's cool.
Which was great. I think that's more than this chapter's done in the golf tournament by a lot, actually. So wonderful deal. We had 240 players sign up, 216 show up. Gave away around 180, raffle prizes and 4.5 hour round, which was that's got to be a record too.
Yeah, that's a record.
216 players, but no, it was a great day, man. It was good to have everybody up from Houston, and we had a few people out of our office go down there too, or go out there and help out, and it seemed like everybody had a good time. I was really happy with the way it turned out. So
yeah,
we made ours a 3.5 hour round because we got through 16, which was number 18, and I looked at the guys I'm playing with, and I go, we could go back that way, or the clubhouse is right there.
We had some people doing that. We had one group, actually one of our platinum sponsors, Baltimore Slow. Those guys just stopped and started fishing.
Yeah. I'm back there fry daddy, and I'm frying up and battered, and I look over there and some guy's got his fly rod catching bass. And I was like, dude, I got the raw end of this deal, man.
So you ended up catching a pretty nice one. You had 2.5 pounder maybe. It was good. It was a good fish.
We did have, towards the end of the day, like people just started hanging around the tent, just eating fish. And I was like, well, y'all are done. Bro, Brandon Dodds was serving up transfusions. It was quite the deal. But no, it was a great event. It was kind of cool, Brandon. And then we got to give yourself some props, man. This is Brandon's first year, and his guys that were on the committee running the tournament. And I got a lot of just good feedback from everybody. I think everybody really enjoyed it. Y'all implemented a lot of really cool things that a lot of the other tournaments do, throughout the industry, and applied it there. So Oklahoma City, you just know two ways around it. It's a great landman town. I mean, it is an oil town. All the landmen are involved in the association. Everybody's active there. There's no reason that tournament shouldn't be able to continue on that way. So it was cool to have a tournament that kind of was aligned and represented the industry well and had a lot of good participation.
Yeah, it was fun. Thank you.
It was nice that, our tent didn't blow away and harpoon one of our clients. I was a little concerned there. It was a little gusty. It's a little windy.
Yeah, you had it tied down to coolers and a golf car.
Yeah, it was strapped
Brandon
down.
Dodds.
Yeah. No, it was good. And anytime you can raise money for a charity, that's great. That's how those things should be. I think there should always be a charity involved with those big events, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about how busy it is. I know there's a lot of challenges that come with being busy. There's also great things that come with being busy. But yeah, let's segue into that. Maybe give us an update on how busy are we?
Busy.
Well, it's always like we're busy being busy or busy trying to be. I think right now the industry as a whole is busy being busy.
Yeah.
Obviously, some people are going to be a little more busy than others. Some people don't want to be any busier, and I applaud those folks, for sticking to what they do and doing what they do well. But yeah, I'd say in general, activities up. The type of work that's going on is changing a little bit. We're starting to see more, acquisition type work from just the organic side of things. People are starting to do some leasing work to step out. And I think that's just some overall optimism in the long range view of things. In particular on the natural gas side, we're starting to see some parts of the country get active on the natural gas side, which is always good for landmen. I mean, the reserves are there. People know where gas is. It's just a matter if it's economic to go after it. So anytime you start to see some optimism in the long range view, people get out and start looking for drillable locations. And so that involves us getting busy pretty early. As far as due diligence, we started to see a pickup in that as well. Not the big, huge, end of year blockbuster trades that you read about, but a lot of small stuff. People are active, and we're getting calls for trades. We're getting calls for smaller bolt-on type things. And so that's been keeping us quite busy. I mean, we're juggling 2 of 3 of them at a time, at least down here in our region and the western side of the country. But renewables, Steve, why don't you give us a little rundown just on what we're seeing on the renewables front?
You guys want to talk about first the Texas, what was it, Texas State 1172 that came out, which is a good thing for landmen. So it is taking the necessity of licensing away from renewable projects, which is great. I know there's a lot of tension, fright from a bunch of our clients on the progression of that. So kudos to the AAPL for stepping in there. We are seeing not much of a slowdown in the acquisition, but a lot more title work, as Brent had mentioned earlier with Greg coming on. We're venturing into some other areas. I know we've got some geothermal projects coming up, some more lithium projects. So away from the standard of solar and traditional wind that we saw for the past couple of years, which is great. Those are some bigger size projects and able to put more folks to work. To Brent's point about optimism, though, on the oil and gas side, it's nice to see some areas that we haven't worked in 5-10 years, see some interest in those outlying areas that aren't the core locations we've been used to. So I think general just optimism from both sides that's leading this surge in work and the need for landmen.
Yeah, I think it's great that we actually had these few years, and now that I don't know if there's a sour taste or maybe there's some the opposite of optimism on the wind and solar side, kind of just that feeling. People are going, well, we're in this business. What can we do to, keep this business going? The hydrogen and lithium and geothermal, those are great segues for those companies and great segues for Landman to kind of go. And we're definitely seeing a little uptick in those different.
From being at that conference, I don't think the optimism's there on the renewable side right now. I think there's a lot of uncertainty of what's going to happen in the political landscape and what's going to come down with the original infrastructure bill and how those regulations and timelines might change. So you see some folks who are really rushing to get projects going off the ground quick to make sure they hit their deadlines if those limitations of years come down. But that's to be seen in the next probably 6 to 12 months of what's going to happen there.
Yeah, I think internally as a team, we're all of the opinion that by the end of the year, we'll have a lot better feel for what the next 24 months look like on the traditional renewable side.
What I can say is we met with a lot of data center folks out there, and it's weird because all of a sudden you're seeing this shift from oil and gas is bad and green is good to now we need oil and gas. So Natalie and I were joking. We're kind of hoping that data centers are the conduit to all of us playing nice in the sandbox together.
No.
Yeah. Well, we've all talked about that, right? It's like a big rush. It was a lot of incentive put on getting these projects off the ground. So you get a big rush. Now it's going to tighten up, and that's as expected, right? Nobody expected anything different from an administration standpoint. So now you're going to be left with the people who have good businesses, have strong strategies, have great teams that execute well. And so it's going to kind of clean things out a little bit. You're going to be left with the survivors. And that's how it should be, right? The strong survive. And that's, I feel, what the next 12 to 18 months is going to be. We're going to be left at the end of this thing with people that have money invested, that have projects that are viable, not stuff that they're throwing up against the wall. And we're going to start looking for ways that we can take all this and blend it and be more of an integrated energy sector. And you're right, the data centers, they're the mediator, right? Let's all be friends. So that's exciting. Data center business is super interesting. There's a lot of interest in it last year. I can say for sure. I mean, I know Natalie has been very involved in that. In representing the company and really the Landman profession in the data center side of the space, right?
Well, I didn't tell you guys. We came up with this great idea for the RE Plus and Yada conference. We're gonna have the Dirty Power Happy Hour.
Yeah. Let's go.
I mean, let's go.
Let's go. You got me all wheezing now, Steve. Oh, that'd be good. Let's just cut the shit. You know what I mean? You need this power, baby. You know you like it.
How funny.
Oh,
We're going to have to get some hats made, Steve, or at least some T-shirts.
DPHH.
Who's your dirty power?
that's great.
I'll
So,
remember.
obviously, the challenge whenever it gets busy is that it's hard to staff, right? So you're constantly looking, but maybe share some of the challenges of that. Like, what is it like to try to staff? What are you digging into? What are you trying? What are the different channels you're looking to?
Here's what I say. It takes people dedicated to it is what it takes.
Yeah.
We did that a long time ago. We've talked about that a lot. I mean, we've got people here in this Oklahoma City office. That's what all they do. They're looking for landmen. They're vetting landmen. We have our PCs call and vet them, do the initial phone interview to identify what they're good at, what jobs they could be potentially put on and to succeed. And I mean, it's and then not only that, it doesn't just take them. It takes us three and the PMs all out there just hitting the pavement, post on LinkedIn. And still, you're looking at 30 resumes and hiring 3. And
Yeah.
then you're taking those 3 and maybe one of
Firing
them doesn't
2.
work out. Yeah, firing 2. I was trying to say it the nice way, Brent.
I don't know. Hey, we all been in this business too long to be nice. I mean, you can tell, folks that run the circuit, right? We talk about A players, we talk about B players, we talk about C players. And first off, I want to make a public service announcement to all of our LinkedIn followers. I'm sorry that you've got to see our job posts all the time, but it's the only way that we can get good people to work on your jobs. So it's the nature of it. You have to be aggressive with it, and you have to be proactive. If you're starting to look for landmen when you need to staff a job, you're too late. And so we put a lot of emphasis on that. It's a big part, to Brandon's point. It's a big part of our resource coordinator's job, our HR team. That's what they do. You got to be very organized. You have to collaborate amongst your teams, about making sure that once you have those A and B players in your shop, that they don't go a day without work. And when you're fortunate enough to be busy, those opportunities are there. But if you're not communicating, if you don't have good systems and processes for, being able to vocalize and let people know when those people are available, you lose them, because folks got to feed the family, and they can't go a week without work. So, you talk about the little things that make a difference when it comes to being busy. That's a big part of it. Making sure that your quality people are staying busy, making sure that you're paying them as much as you can, making sure that you're being vocal to your clients about supply and demand and what rates are and what rates need to be able to keep those good people on your job is important. We do a ton of, we've talked about it before, our scorecards, our evaluating of our contractor workforce. It's really about understanding where people can be the most successful, like the types of jobs, what their skill set is. It's like you can't just let someone go because they can't run title, right? You need to find a job for them where they can, thrive on their acquisition skill set. And so it's like getting the most out of all your resources is like the most important thing when you're busy. And then making sure your leadership is able to handle it, making sure they have the resources and the tools they need. It's a big part of it. Certainly.
The hardest part of it is when you have great people and you present them to folks and they go, oh, well, that person's not in the area I want them to be in. And you're like, damn, good people. I'd rather have 5 good landmen on a project than 15 locals or whatever you want to call them. I mean, good folks can get things done. So if you're a potential client out there and you have a need for something, let me just tell you that I'd rather get that really good land acquisition guy if he's an hour away from where you need to be than someone who lives in town.
I think that's a great point. We've been battling that for years, but that's also why we've instituted our programs, our systems, and the way we do things. And a person in Texas can absolutely work in Oklahoma, because we've established a routine that allows them to succeed being remote. So I think it's a great point. And we can talk about that, but it's, our software, our Basecamp, Kudu, Team, all the things that we can do. And we can use the local resources to support those people that are remote. And that's just, that's where we're at as an industry, much less just, there's not as many landmen out there as there used to be.
Yeah. And the fact is, as an industry, we haven't done what we needed to do to really incentivize new people to get into the business. The day rates are what they were 20 years ago. We're starting to see some movement there, but it's still been met with resistance. I'm starting to see a very clear kind of divide in mentality from a customer standpoint when it comes to day rates. Some people are very much dollars and cents driven, where they see their field resources as just a means to an end, right? I need people, I need them as cheaply as I can get them, and I don't really value whatever. It's your problem to make sure it gets done. And they're going to push, and they're still pushing for cheap, low day rates. And that's totally within their right to do. There's there's folks out there that can do it for that and will do it for that. But other groups are realizing that activity is picking up. Good landmen aren't available everywhere. Local landmen aren't available everywhere. And if you want that on your job and value it, they're willing to pay more, as they should. And we're able to provide them with better landmen because we can pay those landmen more. We're starting to see some pretty major spreads in, the top end day rates that companies are willing to spend for good quality landmen. In some cases, it's $100 a day difference between what a client's willing to pay for what is, on paper on the MSA, the same landman. And those are things we have to manage. All brokers have to manage that stuff. But kudos to those companies who take that mentality, because you do get what you pay for. This is business 101, right? You can go to Walmart or you can go to JCPenney. Maybe JCPenney's not the, I'm old, but whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Maurice's.
Yeah. Yeah.
But no, you're absolutely
Lululemon.
well. And think about it. We don't really set the rate. Our contractors do. And we talk to a contractor and he wants X day rate. I'm not going to lose, we're not going to lose money on somebody. So it's really not us. It's contractors setting that rate. That's the market. And, our customers, some do understand. The ones that understand that are getting the best landmen, because then we can pay those landmen and they're happy being on the job. That's what it boils down to.
So, those are just some of the basics, right? Obviously recruiting is a big deal, like we said. Making sure that you're leveraging and getting every ounce out of the people you have on your job. Making sure you keep A players working. Making sure that you get people in the right places to do the right things. And then making sure that internally your teams have everything available to them to be able to manage that. And still, one of the hardest things is making sure that, every client and every job feels like that their guy, whoever their guy is dedicated to their job and plugged in and engaged, and as they should be, right? And so when you're busier than normal, right? And we're kind of in that season, it feels like, you have to kind of change how you manage projects, right? You can't have your project manager in the weeds doing a bunch of stuff that just takes up time when he needs to be floating above and making sure that the client's needs are met and that they have a clear understanding of what's supposed to be going on, clear high level understanding of what's happening. So it takes a little bit of a shift, and there's coaching that we have to do, right? As leaders in our company, and all brokers have to do that. And all folks in our space have to do that. Really make sure that they're keeping priorities aligned with their leadership guys to make sure that clients are getting all the service they need. Landmen are turning out a good product. And so that part of the job becomes all that much more important, because you got to keep your product up. You still can't turn in a crappy product. So it's just, everything gets ramped up, right? And we're hoping that it continues to grow and build, and we can stay busy and keep good landmen working.
What are some of the differences in sourcing landmen between the different regions you guys are in?
I just love it when a project ends and you talk to that first guy and he goes, I have 12 other guys coming off a project too who would love to work that. And I'm like, this is the perfect day. This is fantastic. But to Brent,
How often does that happen?
2008. Yeah, but it is hard because especially in this region, I'm sure it's the same in every region. You've seen the same resume 15 times. You've talked to every other broker they've worked for and haven't had good experiences, and it's hard to find that diamond in the rough. And it's hard to develop a diamond in the rough from a green person. So I would think it's mostly a lot of luck and timing. We talked about Mike and Kelly on the employee side, and we got extremely lucky that the timing worked out perfectly. But also to Brent's collaboration point, if there are 10 folks from Texas working on an Ohio project and all of a sudden something pops up in Ohio, it's between Travis and Dodge or whoever to deal with that internally. moving people around and moving the chess pieces in the right places you need them. So I think that goes to our communication skills between our managers, what you need when you're operating in multiple basins.
Yeah. You have to invest in that, especially like to your point, that you have to make sure that and this is going to sound bad, you have to make sure that the mentality isn't that your contractors and your field people are your possession, right? It's, how can I help the team? How can I help the big picture? How can we make sure that the focus is on the service of the client and what's in the best interest of the client, the job. And that takes work, because everybody's stressed, everybody's responsible and worried about their job. They have to, make sure that they understand there's a bigger picture and there's a bigger thing at play here. And we all want to be able to help each other when we can. And, last thing you need is infighting or someone holding on and clinging to somebody because they need them for something. And then maybe they don't have something for a week and they go get a job and they're out of the company altogether. Right. So they do a good job of that. All of us, it gets times it gets a little spicy, but you have to manage that. And I say all the time, I'd rather work with somebody who gives a damn. I can kind of put the brakes on someone, but boy, it's hard to put the hunt in someone, and so it's a balance, but we put a lot of attention and effort into it, and it works. It works. Yeah. What are y'all's thoughts?
Oh, God.
We talked a lot on this kind of every 6 months when we do this, twice a year when I get Steve on the podcast, we talk about recruiting. What are y'all seeing? What are you seeing about new people interested in getting into the business? Like in your part of the world, Steve, what's the sentiment? Are you hearing more interest?
Usually, and there hasn't been any outreach to anyone, right, from our side in the past 6 months. It's mostly family members or a friend who might be looking for a different profession. It's not man, I got 10 guys who I know would be awesome at this, and how can we bring them in? It's more of a one-off kind of basis right now up here. I don't know how. Maybe we tried the recruiting in that other group, training some folks previously, and we were lucky enough to get 4 to 6 people in that. I think it goes back to what can you pay me? And I can go to
What's my
Buc-ee's.
ceiling?
I can go to Buc-ee's and make $25 an hour, or I can do this and not. So it's hard to get younger people motivated because they see a ceiling as soon as they get out.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing much of it. I mean, I had somebody reach out the other day, their son been in it for 2 years looking for a job. So of course we're pursuing him. But that was probably the first one since, for months, that a relatively new person coming in the job. I think there's been a shift at the university level. Typically you have these students, they'd be reaching out for internships. We still get a little bit of those internships, but not near as many as we used to. And we definitely don't get as many reaching out saying, hey, you're a brokerage. So what would my job look like when I get out of college if I came to work for you? Those discussions are all but gone up here, at least. And I don't know that many universities are really pushing our side of the business anymore. They really want to get them in-house jobs, which is great when they can get them. But when it's down, we are a great resource. And I think we should be more involved in those discussions and know these kids should know that we're an option.
Yeah. Like we said, I think the biggest challenge with bringing new people into the business is how do you get them to stand on their own, right? Especially when you're an outsourced services firm like we are. Clients are paying a day rate for that person to accomplish some work. And so you got to have the right types of projects. Hopefully if this greenfielding type mentality continues, you have those jobs where you can have a stable team where you can start to maybe incorporate some newer, lesser experienced people into the team and train them up. And hopefully if those projects stick over the course of a year, 2 years, then in 2 years, you've got somebody who's really can start to stand on their own. to Brandon's point, you get a 2-year landman right now. If there are any 2-year landmen out there right now, Dudley Land would love to have you. But and I think that's the mentality everywhere, right? So, we're all scraping and fighting over all those new people into the industry, and I think there's a tremendous opportunity for them. There's a chance for this next wave of people that come into the business over the next 5 years to be the oldest of the young, kind of like Brandon, Steve, and I, and Bryce, and our generation of folks in our company are, where they're the next generation of folks. And I think there'll be opportunity, and I think we're starting to see the winds blow a little bit in the right direction as far as upside from a compensation standpoint in certain parts of the country. But training is always a challenge. We talk about it all the time. At some point, we're going to have to do something and think outside of the box, and we've got some ideas of how we would do it. It just takes some client support, takes the right types of projects, being out there to support it. So we're right on the cusp of it. The fact is, we get the same resumes, over and over of folks that have kind of been on the circuit, and unfortunately, we just can't afford to put people that we can't trust on jobs, and that's in any business. I think we're all dealing with the same challenges, for sure.
Yeah. Yep. Well, what do you guys have planned for the summer as we wrap up here?
I just bought a house, so nothing.
And Lindsay blew her furniture budget, so no vacations.
No vacations. We're doing nothing.
Yeah.
Chasing kids around basketball. That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
There you go.
See, well, my wife doesn't listen to these, but happy anniversary, honey.
Yeah.
Thank
Just
goodness
when
my
we-
wife didn't listen to these because of what Brent just said.
Just when we
Sorry,
thought
babe.
we'd have no sports this summer, we got notification last night that Charlotte got accepted to the All-Star team. So we have 8 All-Star tournaments this summer lined up. So there's every pretty much weekend I have until August. So,
8? It can't just be 1.
Oh my God.
so yeah, next time we talk, we'll be great.
It's off
Yeah.
update.
Yeah, we'll get softball updates. Yeah. A busy summer wise, I got to spend a lot of time with Mike and Kelly with our in-house services team. We're doing a lot of just really going and seeing all of our clients, telling them about what we're doing. There's a big demand there for in-house support in the industry right now. That team's had a lot of success. Mike and Kelly are just, they're pedal to the metal. So we spend a lot of time with them, a lot of travel. And then, I'm lacrosse tournaments all over the country this summer. But it gets to be a busy time. I mean, everything's super hectic right now, always in May. And then everybody disappears in June, does their vacations. It gets hard to get, anything new really off the ground. So be more of that. But right now, personally, it's going to be a lot of lacrosse travel, a lot of staffing, a lot of projects starting up and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
shaping
We'll
up
all
to
be
be a busy
together.
summer.
We'll all be together in a couple of weeks up here in beautiful Pittsburgh.
That weather
Beautiful
better
Pittsburgh.
change.
It better
quick.
change, or we're canceling this quarterly.
I'll put a request in.
Yeah.
We're coming up there in June because the weather is so nice. It's 40
Yeah.
degrees. Wow.
Yeah. So we got our June quarterly, which is always good. It's kind of the mid-year, right? It's not kind of the mid-year. It's actually the mid-year. But for us, it's like, did our annual plan, has something major happen that leads us to want to shift what we want to focus on for the next 6 months. So it's a pretty big meeting. I think we've got 3 days lined up for this one, 2.5 days maybe. Depending on if we can get Pam to ease up on us.
Hey Pam, what if we just cut this short and go golf for the afternoon?
Yeah,
Hey,
I
Pam,
think
just
so.
Emails to get through and
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
stay
get some more
stay
scheduling.
here at the hotel, Pam. We'll leave you alone for the night.
Yeah, you can have some focus time, and I need to unwind here with Stevie. But no, that's always a good one. It's always good to see the guys. It's kind of, we get together 3 times a year, 4 times a year as a group, and we actually get a lot accomplished. Dedicated focus time is hard for us. I'm very ADD. So when I can turn all the distractions off and we can all really kind of focus on things, we make a lot of really good decisions, we feel like, during that time. So excited about that. We've got all our plans locked in for our annual meeting with all the managers. So we've got all that put together for October. So little finishing touches. We'll be knocked out here in the next month there. Yeah, we're off to the races, man. We're midway through the year already.
There you go.
I can't believe it.
Well, thank you guys for joining. I don't know when we'll do this again next, but hopefully good updates, and we'll have a lot of projects staffed whenever we get together next. Maybe we'll talk about AI next time.
Okay.
There you go.
Maybe we'll just have AI record for us.
Yeah.
No, maybe we can be little babies. Can you make us babies? I just want to be babies.
We can do that. We can do that. We'll do that for our next, that'll be our fall episode.
Let's go.
I thought for you to say like bass or something, like babies.
I want a little baby Steve.
Baby Steve. We'll get baby Brent with the mustache. It'll be good.
Yes. Let's go. Yes,
It'll be
please.
good.
Oh Lord.
All right. We'll see you guys around.
So see you in 6 months, Steve.
Enjoyed today's topic? Follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. Learn more at dudley-land.com. See you next episode.